What's going on? It's your boy Matt. I wanted to expound on a point that I made at the 33-minute, about 25-second mark, where I was speaking of how our delineation and claiming our own historical heritage and legacy and what we've gone through here as a people and how we have found the righteousness of God through his word. It puts up a mirror and it now forces those who are against us to defend this system. Because I don't think that people understand, and I'm speculating here, making generalizations, but I don't think people understand that with us claiming and owning the fact, you know what? We were slaves. Who enslaved us? Watch out! Because at the end of the day, my great grandfather was a slave, meaning that somebody's great grandfather was a slave owner. So, with that being the case, since you want to defend America being so great, you now have to stick up for your own ancestors who committed atrocities against mine and find a way that you are going to justify them while justifying yourself in the eyes of God. Watch out! Us delineating is forcing them to pull the mask off. We are the last generation that will deal with this because they are in a contradiction. As Thomas Jefferson said, we have a tiger by the ears. We're too exhausted to keep holding him, but we know that when we let go, it is utterly lethal to us. That is why, with confidence, we can say we are the last generation that will deal with this, because the moral justification that they have utilized for this system is the same moral justification that testifies against them. This is deep, folks. This is what real preaching is. It's not to make us comfortable. This is extremely uncomfortable. This is the weightiest subject matter that you will encounter in life because it is the most impactful subject matter that pertains to your eternal existence. Us embracing who we are as separate and apart from what they told us, which means embracing holiness, not in the sense that you all have crafted, but in the sense of refusing to be defined by their image of us that they project onto us to make us think that we are them. We are not them. And that us applies to anyone who hears the word of God and does it. Our true holiness exposes the fake. God uses broken vessels to uplift them. I may cuss, I may get mad, I may fuss, but at the end of the day, I don't lose sight of who I am in the Lord. And I can confidently speak against this system, knowing that this system is justifying every genocide on earth. And the adherents to this system are my co-workers, my family members, my neighbors, and strangers in the street who are perfectly fine living in comfort, knowing that their tax dollars are going to drop bombs on people who never even had anything to do with them. We're literally paying into a system that is dropping bombs on our human neighbors. And we think that God is going to justify this? Now y'all got to defend this. Since you wanted God to bless America, now you have to defend America against God. Us claiming ownership of what we are and what God has brought us through forces you to claim ownership of what you are. If you embrace this system. Because the thief comes in to do what? Steal, kill, and destroy. What has been happening since 1619, 1492, whatever year you want to say them rat bastards sailed the ocean blue? What have they been coming over here to do? This is deep. We in that water now. They got to defend this. And they can't. And so because they can't defend it, that's why they're resorting back to the oldest trick in the book. Fear. Hard power. Terrorism. Because they know if they can leverage the power of the sword against you, one that they are not fit to wield themselves, they can at least convince you to fall in line. So you can bludgeon your brother or sister who is speaking the way that I am in line. It's a cold game out here in America, y'all. But it's game time.